Ladies and gentlemen, please start taking your seats. Please start taking your seats.
Dear Presidents, dear Prime Minister, dear colleagues and friends, I'm happy and honored to welcome you to the Batumi International Conference. Today we have gathered again in the heart of Ajara, in the city of Batumi. 17 times this beautiful region and city have hosted Batumi Conference, giving us an opportunity to discuss important issues on international agenda, while also enjoying friendship, cordial interaction, and local hospitality. So I want to thank the chair of the Ajara government, Mr. Tornike Rijvadze, for hosting us today. This meeting would not be possible without personal devotion and engagement of the President of Georgia, Her Excellency Salome Zurabishvili. Due to her efforts, we are hosting here in Batumi the most distinguished guests and the dearest friends of Georgia. Let me extend my most cordial welcome to His Excellency Charles Michel, President of the European Council, Her Excellency Maia Sandu, President of the Republic of Moldova, and His Excellency Volodymyr Zelensky, President of Ukraine. We are honored by the presence of the Prime Minister of Georgia, His Excellency Irakli Garibashvili. The Batumi International Conference was conceived as a forum to discuss Georgia's European integration. From the very beginning, representatives of the EU institutions, member states, governments, and parliamentarians, as well as scholars and think tanks, gathered to discuss the challenges of European integration, the opportunities that it has been presenting all along the way, and the new ideas to advance our ever closer cooperation with the European Union. The conference has been gaining new pace and more distinguished audience over the years. The scope of the topics in the agenda have also expanded. It became a forum where regional development, economic opportunities, and security challenges of the Black Sea region and Eastern Partnership are discussed. The Batumi Conference was also an extensive networking experience for hundreds of participants, and maybe this is what we miss most of all nowadays. During the last 1.5 years, we have all been living under unusual circumstances, and this special edition of the conference is also not like the previous ones. We tried hard to keep Batumi Conference in the traditional multi-panel format, but due to the still lingering pandemic, we decided to shorten the conference and broadcast it online, and this will allow us to reach more of our friends and colleagues at the same time, and also to decrease the pandemic-related risks. I'm glad that this year we'll still manage to bring together esteemed experts and scholars for a debate on the new transatlantic agenda and European integration. I wish all our panelists, as well as online audience, very interesting discussion later today. And as the final event of today's gathering, there will be the leaders' meeting of the presidents of the European Council, Georgia, Republic of Moldova, and Ukraine. It will be the first joint meeting of the associated partners with the President of the European Council. I believe that we can see this momentous event as a manifestation of the mutual commitment of the European Union and associated partners. Now, I would like to invite the President of Georgia, Her Excellency Salome Zurabishvili, to address this distinguished audience. Madam President, the floor is yours.
I'm very glad and honored to receive you today, Excellency, President Sandu of Moldova, Excellency, President Zelensky of Ukraine, President Charles Michel of the European Council, Mr. Prime Minister, Mr. Ambassador, dear distinguished guests. It's a very important day for Georgia, and our coming all together for this conference is an important fact, and also the fact that later the associated leaders meeting will also, in the presence of the President of the European Council, mark a new step in our common path towards European integration. This day is a testimony to the seriousness of our own and common commitments, a testimony to the European past and to our common European future. In itself, the fact that after a suspension due to the pandemic, we have not only managed to resume, albeit in a different form, the Batumi European Conference and resumed it at the highest level with, for the first time, 4 presidents taking part, is a fresh start. And that fresh start inspires us hope, and it means also for us and for us all a renewed commitment to our objectives. First of all, the commitment of Georgia, of course. Georgia's European choice is inseparable from our history. It is inseparable from our values, and it's enshrined in all our constitutions since Georgia has regained independence. This is also the unaltered choice of our people, and the one issue on which, whatever the polarization, whatever the debates between the political parties, the one issue on which the consensus has never been disputed. Despite many challenges, and not least the challenge of occupation of our territories, and I thank President Zelensky for having today visited the delimitation line with Abkhazia. Georgia's aspiration has never faltered. This choice, the choice of the European path, has for us, and I know for our friends, no alternative. Batumi Conference is a signal that we are not alone in this endeavor. We are supported, we are encouraged, but it also means that we have to do much more and much faster. Batumi Conference is a strong message for the Eastern Partnership. Despite some recesses, like the suspension by Belarus of its participation, it means that we are all actively preparing the next summit. It means that the European Eastern Partnership is alive and moving forward, and strongly supported by the European leadership, but also by all the European partners. Batumi Conference is a moment to take stock of the re-engagement of the European Union in the region, the personal involvement, for which I thank him personally, of the President Michel in Georgia's internal political processes, but also his most recent visit to our 2 Caucasian neighbors, also partners in the Eastern Partnership, and the discussion of important projects in the region mark the importance for the European Union of a neighboring region that will be democratic, that will be stable, and that will be secure. Also, the financial involvement and the political support to major projects is a demonstration of this renewed interest. Batumi Conference is a message for the associated countries that we can get more if we achieve more. Our European future is in our hands. We need to focus on our progress, our objectives, our principles, and have more ambition, but not only in words, but also in deeds. Any division internally, any misunderstanding can only weaken our aims, can only weaken the determination of our partners, and that is something that we have to avoid at all costs. Finally, Batumi Conference is a message for our citizens, a message of hope, a strong incentive. Europe is not only a declared objective, it implies reforms to be carried. It implies that we have to fulfill our commitments. It means work, and tenacity. But then the future will be in our hand. This path is not the only one that will lead us to more stability, consolidated security, more democracy and secure development, and this path has no alternative. I'm glad that we are united here to make sure that this path moves forward and brings us all closer to our aim. I wish all participants to this conference a very successful, albeit different meeting, distant meeting for some, but a very effective, energetic meeting that will bring us closer to our future. Thank you all.
Please welcome to the stage His Excellency, Prime Minister of Georgia, Irakli Garibashvili.
President Jean-Michel, President Sandu, President Zelensky, Madam President Zurabishvili, Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, friends and colleagues. What a pleasure it is to be here in person to welcome you to Georgia, to this wonderful Black Sea resort and the Batumi International Conference. We are joined here today by so many friends of Georgia to discuss Georgia, Ukraine, and Moldova's EU aspirations. We are all working hard to ensure that our dreams become a reality. I'm looking forward to discussing the renewed transatlantic agenda and what it means for Georgia and the entire region. Let's take a moment to reflect on the lessons of the past year and our collective fight against the pandemic. Thanks to mutual aid and friendship, we are effectively navigating our way through a shared global challenge. We have met the challenge, but of course we know we cannot relax for a moment and must remain vigilant to keep our people safe. We also know that we face threats well beyond the pandemic that are every bit as destabilizing as the virus itself. The last year has continued to see dramatic geopolitical events unfold across the globe. Russia has not been deterred in destabilization efforts, from the US election to Ukraine to right here in Georgia, where Russia still illegally occupies 20% of our sovereign land. It is clear that the Black Sea remains on the front lines of a dynamic regional chess match. That is why you are here, and that is why this conference is so important. The Black Sea region is a microcosm of conflict management. And if we can maintain peace and stability here, we can do so elsewhere too. Our vision is to facilitate transformation of region from region of conflicts into the region of opportunities. Despite these challenges, we continue to honor our commitments to Georgia's European and Euro-Atlantic integration. Our cooperation with the European Union is as energetic as ever. We have been advancing our European integration in various areas covered by the EU-Georgia Association Agreement. And we have continued our active engagement in the Eastern Partnership, which we see as an important policy for Georgia and for our entire region. The recently announced post-2020 Eastern Partnership priorities are opening new opportunities to enhance Georgia's connectivity to the European Union through improved transport connectivity across the Black Sea. The partnership will also help 80,000 SMEs realize the full benefits of the DCFTA. Let me thank the European Union for the readiness to allocate 3.9 billion euros to Georgia as part of the economic and investment plan for the next 7 years. Of course, all these efforts will serve to shrink further the physical distance between Georgia and the European Union, fully realize the benefits of the association agreement, and increase the prosperity of the citizens of this country. Implementation of the association agreement remains at the top of my government's agenda. We are diligently continuing our reforms aimed at stronger democratic institutions, legal approximation, and regulatory convergence with the European Union. It is essential that we create more policy linkages and common areas with the EU. As you know, my government made an ambitious pledge to prepare Georgia for filing the EU membership application in 2024. I'm certain that through continued reforms, steady implementation of the association agreement, and gradual approximation with the EU, we will achieve this goal. As we look across the Atlantic, America has a new president. President Biden has re-engaged his EU counterparts, met with President Putin as part of America's renewed global engagement. I met with then President Biden on numerous occasions. He knows Georgia, he knows this region. That is a big plus for Georgia-US relations, and in turn a positive development for the entire region. On the diplomatic front, teaming up with the United States, we were recently able to secure the release of Armenian prisoners in exchange for providing maps to secure the safe removal of landmines in Azerbaijan. Diplomacy works hand in hand with a strong defense and mutual assistance. All of this activity over the last year is against the backdrop of the global pandemic that spares no nation, no people, no economic class. Georgia has emerged from the pandemic with renewed strength and purpose, focused on NATO and EU membership, and doing our part to maintain regional peace and stability. Today, our democracy is on track, thanks to the efforts of our EU and American friends, led by President Michel. As a result of renewed multilateral support and financial assistance, normalcy is returning, democracy is working, and our economy is starting to boom. The takeaway from the challenge of the global pandemic is that we must all continue to honor our commitments and obligations in the greater world. Yes, the safety, security, and health of our people is #1 priority, but their future is tied to our ability to engage successfully in the world. That is our obligation to our people, and that is our commitment to you. You can rely on Georgia. Let me stress once again the crucial role that the European Union and US play in the security and stability in Georgia. The EU monetary mission has provided the only international presence along the occupation line and has greatly contributed to a successful conference that sparks even.
Please welcome to the stage Her Excellency, President of the Republic of Moldova, Maia Sandu.
Good afternoon. Sorry. Madam President, thank you for the invitation. Dear colleagues, distinguished audience, it's a pleasure to be here today and to speak about our country's aspirations, our country's EU hopes, both in the country and in the EU. The oligarchic system have captured the institutions one by one, and then soon the citizens and Brussels realized that Moldova was not a success story. Unfortunately, because the reforms were just on paper, the discussions about democracy and anti-corruption were just an unpredictable partner for the EU. Of course, I'm sure that we'll have more success in our discussions about the integration. But what we understand now is that the main agenda is at home. We do need your support, but we understand that the homework is to be done by us. And this is the commitment that we have, first of all, towards our people, and this is the commitment that we have for the EU institutions that have been helping us over the years, and we're sure that they will help us even more now that we have the political commitment to do what's right for the country, to do what's right for the citizens of Moldova. Thank you.
Please welcome to the stage His Excellency, President of Ukraine, Volodymyr Zelensky.
Thank you so much. Yes, Madam President, Your Excellencies, Madam President Zurabishvili, thank you for invitation. I'm glad to see you, President Maia Sandu, President Charles Michel, Mr. Prime Minister. Yes, you need your translator. I will speak on my native language, on Ukrainian. Thank you very much. Шановні пані та панове, шановні журналісти,
esteemed
шановна Грузія,
panelists,
Україна,
the Georgian public. Ukraine today Ukraine, Georgia, and Moldova for the first time are meeting at this high level as associated partners of the European Union. And we have joint aspirations today because we have shared vision of tomorrow. This is full membership in the European Union, equality, freedom, and democracy. Unfortunately, our countries are about to pay. We are united also by the price that we have to pay for these achievements. Not from the books we know what annexation is, what occupation is, what war is. And the first position where I started, the first station during my visit was Abastumani village, the checkpoint there. And beyond that checkpoint, we have the occupied Abkhazia and the contact line dividing the two worlds, the fair, the modern, the safe and secure. And today we are together, we are united to make this choice a reality. And the associated trio forms a new regional dimension for the extension of the European Union. Not scared by them, we are motivated. The latest example of adoption of the laws, given another launch of the judicial system reform, the high qualification commission of judges is recomposed, the opening of the land market, digitalization, decentralization, removal of immunity for MPs, big privatization reform of the security service of Ukraine, and the independence for anti-corruption bodies. And this is just the 1/10, the tithe of what we've done over these 2 years, which looks much bigger than all the previous achievements. Our associate agreement and its implementation will bring Ukraine closer to full membership in the EU. We have the ambitious agenda today with the EU already. The implementation start for the joint aviation spur, then the industrial visa-free regime, and the first conclusions of implementation of the association agreement. Unfortunately, the persistent aggression of the Russian Federation, the proxy attacks, occupation of sovereign territories are focused on impeding our way towards this integration. So it's very important to meet midway, and we need support from the EU. Thank you, President Charles Michel, for the resolution of the European Council on the 24th of June. It is very important, and the leadership of the EU recognized European aspirations of their associated partners. It is not less important that we make all these words action, translated into action, because if Brussels and the EU want to demonstrate unwavering support of the three associated partners, then we immediately can see build up at our borders and flexing of the muscle of the aggressor we all suffer from. Not just the three countries. This is the threat to all the continents, so we don't understand why at the conference about the future of Europe we cannot hear the voice of our countries. Aren't we part of the European future? If there are some unimportant countries for the future of Europe, this is not the Europe of the future Europe. And we can see some evidence that we have some place for our countries in the European future. We can see that in the European prospect for Moldova, Georgia and Ukraine as countries sharing the same values under Article 49 of the EU Treaty. The territory of the European Union should become bigger, and for this choice the territory of the three countries paid for this choice, and we have all become smaller, temporarily, I believe. But how temporarily? Well, that will depend on you also, dear European partners, and on your support. We have aspirations of the European Council to provide the European prospect for the associated partners. Ladies and gentlemen, in December, we're going to have another summit of Eastern Partnership. And this is a very important development, but the lack of any strategic vision of on the part of the EU for the Eastern Partnership makes this format half-alive. We do not need summits for the sake of summits. We are losing our people. We have casualties of war. We need political contents and geopolitical visions of the future for this initiative in particular. Otherwise, quite frankly, I don't understand the feasibility of all these efforts. Our next summit should demonstrate a clear-cut vision of the relations with the closest partners on the part of the European Union. We will support this initiative, and to the degree to which it will provide for implementation of our European aspirations. I'm happy that we are paving the way to such integration together, and I believe that in this togetherness we will reach our goal and will find our place in the ranks of the European Union with the three sister countries, Ukraine, Georgia, and Moldova. Thank you very much for your attention.
Please welcome to the stage His Excellency, President of the European Council, Charles Michel.
Madam President of Georgia, dear Salome, thank you for taking this important initiative. Dear Prime Minister, dear Irakli, thank you for hosting us. Dear President of Ukraine, dear Volodymyr, dear President of Moldova, dear Maya, and dear friends, it's a pleasure to participate in this meeting today and to be back in Georgia. Today, Georgia, Moldova, and Ukraine have been independent for 30 years, for one generation of hard-won progress and sometimes painful setbacks. One generation of defining your own future and building your own space of prosperity and cooperation based on shared values. And it has not been an easy journey, with periods of destabilization and conflicts, with your countries facing interference or aggression. The EU stands by you in full solidarity. And there remain challenges to your reforms. It's our common goal to overcome these challenges together. We want to nurture stability and resilience in the interest of our citizens, together with our transatlantic partners. In one generation, the EU has also experienced profound change, creating the world's largest democratic area. We have worked to forge our unity and uphold our freedom and our fundamental values. In 2009, at the Prague Summit, we decided to launch our Eastern Partnership. And today, 12 years later, our Eastern Partnership is a reality that benefits all of our citizens. We share a common agenda and purpose determined by common priorities and needs. In December, we will hold the next Eastern Partnership Summit in Brussels. And I make to you all a promise today. The EU will remain a strong and reliable partner for your region. We count on your commitment to advance reforms, not to please Brussels, but in the interest of your own people and your own societies. And together, we must always stand up for human rights and the rule of law, equal rights, non-discrimination, freedom of expression, assembly, and the press define who we are, and they are also the best guarantee for prosperity. Ladies and gentlemen, today we face a great global challenge, COVID-19, and we all know the only one way out of the pandemic is global cooperation. And our Eastern Partnership is a prime example of this. When COVID struck, the EU reacted quickly to the needs of our 6 partners. And together with the EIB, we mobilized over 2.5 billion euros to support you in tackling the health crisis and addressing the socio-economic recovery. This strong EU support clearly shows the strategic importance we give to our partnership with you. And we'll continue to support vaccination campaigns because this is a key condition for sustainable recovery. The EU is the largest exporter and donor of COVID vaccines to the world. And we've exported or donated over 5 million doses to the 6 Eastern Partnership countries. Dear friends, we face many other challenges together: economic growth, climate change, digital transitions, and promoting fair and inclusive societies. I firmly believe our Eastern Partnership can be a launchpad for greater cooperation in all these areas and more. It serves as a catalyst for democracy, good governance reforms, and the rule of law we enforce in societies against destabilization. Our 3 association agreements, including the free trade areas, have generated concrete benefits for citizens. They are among the most ambitious forms of cooperation that the EU has with any third country. By 2019, our trade had significantly increased, in some cases, by as much as 45%. And the EU is today your largest trading partner. And I'm convinced that our free trade area can still deliver much more, both to shape your legislative framework for the benefit of your societies, notably by getting you fit to compete on the global market. Ladies and gentlemen, dear friends, we are also seeing impressive results of visa liberalization. With Georgia, Moldova, and Ukraine, more than 500,000 of your citizens have benefited from visa-free travel so far. And we also support the young generation with over 80,000 exchanges through our Erasmus Plus program. Ladies and gentlemen, let me turn to the future. I see 3 main priorities. First, the huge, unprecedented economic investment package with concrete flagship initiatives for each partner country. This economic and investment plan will be supported by 2.3 billion euros, with the potential to mobilize up to 17 billion euros in public and private investments for the region. Second, I strongly believe in connectivity in a broad sense. Our partnership will improve transport links and infrastructure. We will invest in the creation and renewal of thousands of kilometers of roads and railways by 2030, and this will further shrink the distances between our societies. This connective investment will also provide access to finance for SMEs, assist the digital transition, and support greater climate and health resilience. And my third and final point is about reforms. Good governance is the key to unlock the benefits that liberal democracy can bring. This means unhesitatingly promoting the rule of law, independence of the judiciary, fighting corruption. This is not only a political necessity, it will kickstart growth and unlock fresh opportunity. Ladies and gentlemen, our meeting here with you, the leaders of Georgia, Moldova, and Ukraine, is an important milestone. It highlights the special ties that connect the EU with its associated partners. And we welcome the TRIO initiative to foster coordination between the associated partners and with Brussels. This can lead to the sharing of best practices on reforms, on implementation, and on a broader agenda for the future. Today, we are also discussing how to introduce closer coordination between the associated partners. And let me make one suggestion. Why not introduce competitive benchmarking on key reforms? This would help galvanize the reform momentum and increase mutual support among partners and help secure your ever closer ties with the EU. Ladies and gentlemen, dear friends, I believe our Eastern Partnership is the locomotive for transformation, prosperity, and growth. It's equally a powerful symbol of openness, mutual confidence, and of our cooperation. It has been one generation of independence for you, and in this one generation, the distance between your societies and the EU has shrunk in unprecedented ways. The EU is your most committed partner for greater democracy, for greater stability, for greater prosperity, and above all, for the benefits of the people of your countries. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, the opening ceremony of Batumi International Conference is now over. Thank you for your attendance. The discussion on the topic, the new transatlantic agenda and Eastern Europe, will start in 30 minutes after the break.